Welcome back, everybody, to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle showcasing. My name is Niles, and thank you for tuning in. And today we're going to go ahead and test the Teq World Tournament Turles. I do have this card at 100% just because I have a plethora of Teq orbs lying around at the moment. There really hasn't been a Teq unit that I've really had to go ham on. So pretty much I'm going to be focusing on this unit on the 120% Super Saiyan 3 Broly lead. But as usual, before we get into battle, let's go over what this card does. Now, his leader skill is Ki +3, attack and defense 30% up, and only when HP is 30% or above, so keep that in mind. Super attack causes supreme damage with a high chance to stun the enemy, much like the Intelligence Turles. So that does equate to about a 50% chance, which will really give him the edge going into battle. Now, the passive skill is Ki +3, attack and defense 60% for 7 turns, so it's somewhat modest, but it's better than a flat attack boost, if I must say. Link set skill, you can find Destroyer of Universe, Saiyan Warrior Race, Prepare for Battle, Thirst for Conquest, Big Bad Bosses, which is a big plus, Shattering the Limit, and Nightmare. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to really be able to focus on the Destroyer of the Universe link. That's really going to be shared with Raisin, if I'm not mistaken, or otherwise known as Scrotum Dude or Ballsack Dude, whatever you'd like to refer him to as. But all in all, the attack, stats, HP, and the defense is not the greatest improvement in the ability system overall. His 12 key multiplier is 135%, so I figure this might be somewhat of a suitable showcase because we are going to be having also the World Tournament Piccolo, which will also share the Nightmare, not to mention his passive skill. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's put him into turn rotation and let's see what we can do now going forward. So if you are new here, consider subscribing, smashing that like, and I do appreciate you sticking around. It does mean a lot. I was actually just on vacation, had some slight mishaps with the family, and now I'm back at home, but everything, rest assured, is okay. So I do appreciate you guys that were concerned in the comments. Now, I did some prior testing to this card, and he's pretty good to say the least. He's going to be hitting moderately around the 400 to 700,000 mark, and you can see right off the bat, we got the stun. It's about a 50% chance. And the good thing about this deck in particular is, you know, the Teq Extreme deck kind of has some problems with cohesiveness in terms of links. They're not the greatest, but at least the Super Saiyan 3 Broly and this Turles do share Prepare for Battle, not to mention also the Mass Saiyan, which I do have intentions on maxing out a little bit later on. So let's go ahead and let's take off this Demon King Piccolo. That's what we'll do. We'll bring on LR Goku Black. We'll have him on his own separate turn rotation. And the cool thing about this Piccolo also is that he can stun. So you pretty much have 2 units on this deck, if I'm not mistaken, that do have the ability to stun, but he has an awesome passive, which he will give the overall support to. So let's see what LR Goku Black can do in the meantime. I do have him at Super Attack 20, just a free dupe system utilized at the moment. And we're going to have Merge Zamasu come back into play. So pretty much I'm going to rotate that King Piccolo on because, like I said, we're going to be sharing the Nightmare, not to mention his passive. We're going to bring him back on for sure. I think it's 25% up on the attack and +3 key, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go ahead and actually just confirm this briefly. Okay, so there's the Turles. Here's the Piccolo. Yeah, attack 25% up and +3 key. Okay, so this will be for the extreme type. So what I'm going to do is I think Broly's definitely going to get rid of him. And I kind of want to keep on my friend since it's a Rainbow Star. Things could technically get tricky. So we'll absorb the orbs that are here. And then Broly can just have these at the end, just in case things get somewhat tricky. Now, like I said, he's not the greatest unit. I would not prioritize this unit at the moment. But hey, if he's in your box and he's somewhat viable and you need that extra link, I'd say he's somewhat semi-optimal. If you do check Dokkan Reddit on the SSR tier, he is a suboptimal unit, but he is a pretty good linking unit to say the least as well. So, okay. He got us out of that mess for the meantime. We're going to have the Mass Saiyan float off, unfortunately, right now. Just because I do not have too much work built into him at the moment. But I am only missing 1 duplicate away. But let's see what we can do now going forward. I will leave those Teq orbs, and we'll leave a lot of those physical orbs as well. But pretty sure LR Goku Black, even with the 12 key super attack, should do at least around 800 possibly even to 1,000,000 at this point. We did get super attack, but thanks to his mitigation, we were able to almost somewhat take that to the face. Yeah, around 900,000. And then we got Merge Zamasu now coming into play. Now, what I've been trying to do is take this on Super Fierce Battle Road, but I honestly just stand no chance at the moment. I will run my Golden Frieza, who is 100% in the potential system. But honestly, it's not the greatest. It's really hard to do. Even with my Mono Extreme, I do have a LR Frieza. I do have Omega Shenron. I almost have the EZA Broly maxed out. I still can't even beat it. I don't know. Let me know what your team builds are overall. So this is going to be pretty ideal. We're going to get I think, the same attack boost if I do this. So what I'm going to do right here is we'll leave these two cards together, even though we do share Prepare for Battle. There's no excessive link that we're going to be sharing. So I'm going to be using a Senzu Bean. We should have Big Bad Boss, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go ahead and just check. No, you know what? I don't think this Broly has Big Bad Boss, so that's a little bit of a hinder for me right now. But we still should have his passive. In addition to that, we'll have Nightmare. So overall, this attack could be a little bit higher than usual. There we go, 579,000 for the multiplier. Can we stun, though? That'd be nice. Ooh, a consistent crit. Oh, yeah, and that's right. Super Saiyan 4 Goku cannot, unfortunately, be stunned. So that was a pretty good crit overall, but I really wouldn't expect this card to hit in the millions. I think that's a little too wishful thinking, unless this card gets a further category that's not like the low-class warriors, which I believe you can run this card on currently. But the overall leader skill for that is not sufficient, or not even comparable to the 120% lead. So now we're hopping onto Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. So what I'll do is we're about that 40% in the Dokkan meter. I'm definitely going to get a Dokkan attack. I will do my absolute best to get this on Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. So we'll quickly just try to get out of here. LR Goku Black, I eventually want to raise your super attack ever so slightly. So that's what I'll do right here. I should be able to possibly land a pretty good crit with Merz and Moss. And then for shits, I'll just absorb that orb just to closely align that Dokkan meter. So definitely was a good call to put LR Goku Black within the first. Now he's such an underrated unit. I wouldn't say he's necessarily underrated, but I would say he's somewhat overlooked in the LR department. And I'd say with his 15% health point regeneration is probably his biggest attribute, not to mention his ability to pretty much tank almost everything with the exception of most super attacks. But regular attacks shouldn't be too big of a deal. And Merz Zamasu, thank you so much for getting us right out of that battle. Okay, so I believe the only link we're not going to share right here is the same warrior race. So what I'll do is I'll put King Piccolo, or Demon Piccolo for that matter. We'll absorb these orbs that are within our type. This will probably be his best super attack so far. Maybe. Even on neutral type damage. So we'll have dual chances to stun. And let's see. Will I max out this Piccolo? I'm not sure. Maybe just one day. And it looks like he actually got the stun. I believe that's a 10% chance for that card to actually get the stun, which is pretty cool. And just comparison's sake, this is a super attack 1 Mass Saiyan, doing somewhat respective damage, to say the least. Pretty similar. Alright, so we'll keep LR Goku Black on, just because it's LR Goku Black, why not? Absorb all of these orbs that are within my type once again. Now we're about that 70-80% in the Dokkan meter, so this definitely should be aligning very, very shortly. I might have to rely on Broly, possibly, just to deal the damage, but hey, LR Goku Black showing off with a 2.1 million critical. Pretty good, I do appreciate that. Okay, so, Turles, we need you back on, and then we're definitely going to need Broly as well. So let's closely, just carefully not try to get the tech orbs right now, or should we? I feel like we should at the same time. So let's go ahead and do this. This should definitely be a sufficient attack right here. And keep in mind, Turles not only can hit somewhat hard and have the potential to stun, but he can tank, to say the least. So let's actually test this out. I'm saying 60,000, 80,000. Ooh, yeah, pretty respective. So we do, unfortunately, only have that 7-turn restriction, but he's still a viable unit to tank too. So if you do have LR Goku Black, this would be a very good buddy to run alongside with him. And maybe even just maybe run the Golden Frieza, even though he's really not that cohesive unless you get him with a passive partner. maybe like the Cell would be optimal. Okay, so this is going to be tricky. I can't absorb the orbs that are within my type. I have to be really careful. So what I'm going to do, I think LR Goku Black can possibly get me out of here. So that's what I'm gonna focus on right now. I'm gonna try to skip this. So we're gonna really hope for LR Goku Black to land a critical, or maybe even merge Zamasu at this point. Can just finish it off. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna definitely have that Dokkan attack. We still should have, yeah, King Piccolo, and we'll have Broly. All right. So in the comment section below, my friends, predict the damage output. I'm gonna say roughly, this is definitely going to be, around 1 million. I'm going to be honest, probably around 1 million. Since we do have the support passive from Demon King Piccolo. But in the comment section below, I will predict the closest estimate as usual. Thank you as always for tuning in. Definitely stick around for later content. I have a lot more in store. Once again, I do apologize for the non-daily uploads, but I did have somewhat of a family emergency. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Super slow. I was hoping it'd be somewhat slow, but like I said, around 1 million. We land a crit, maybe a little bit higher. Unfortunately, we cannot stun Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, but this could be good. Maybe like 700 to 800, worst case. 1.1 million, pretty respective. Not the greatest. If we landed a crit, probably around like 1.5. Well, pretty good to say the least. Now, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is not caring whatsoever. He's going to super attack us only for around 59,000. And then we have Broly. What's up, Broly? I picked this guy up from the Purple Dragon Stone. I wish I could have utilized that Dragon Stone to max out my physical Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, but I had to pick this guy up. He was the last unit. But guys, once again, my name is Niles. Stick around for later content as usual. Until next time, guys, you stay safe. Peace out.